Hello everybody, Mike from LA1 here, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about predictions for the F1 2024 season. Well, today we just found out that Red Bull have won the Constructors title, congratulations to them. So today we're going to discuss everything so far. Oops, shit. My 10 predictions for 2024. Okay. First one is that Red Bull will win the world titles again. Yes, we're going to see another four-peat for Red Bull, which I could very well see happen. Max is on the top of his game, and let's be real, he could very well carry them to the Constructors title once again. And it goes without saying, because until the engine regulations kick in, it's going to be really tough to destroy the Red Bull team. Stop the Red Bull team. Okay, number 2. Is Sergio Perez will leave Red Bull. I mean, after what we saw in Japan today, with him getting multiple penalties, getting damage, and ramming Kevin Magnussen, it's pretty clear that Sergio Perez's time might be coming to an end at Red Bull. I mean, he definitely helped Max win at Abu Dhabi in dubious circumstances. And with the rumors now reporting that Liam Lawson's 2024 reserve deal has a guaranteed seat for 2025, that's almost the nail in the coffin for Sergio Perez's Red Bull career. Don't get me wrong, I like Checo, but seriously, what has been up with him lately? And the fact that he's being outpaced by a rookie has to be a bit concerning. Speaking of rookies, number 3, Liam Lawson, Logan Sargent. Future? Now, let me say this. Am I glad that we have an American presence in F1 again? Yes. But, my God, Logan is so crash heavy. Do I think he'll get a second chance? Absolutely. But with reports of him that Williams is talking to Felipe Dragovich, and we'll get to that in number 4, and we're going to talk about that in a second here. But honestly, if he does end up going to Williams, but part of me is thinking he's probably staying with Williams, but I could very well see Dragovich going here as well. But I could see Williams and Aston Martin working out a deal where Dragovich takes the Williams gig for a little while, while Logan goes to Aston as their reserve driver, which might be a good thing because they could keep him driving in actual other racing series to keep him occupied until Fernando retires. And oh yeah, Fernando, he gets to get learning advice from Fernando, which that's a win-win. Fernando can get Logan to help Logan get better in one of these cars. And speaking of other locations, number 4, Logan Sargent goes to Andretti. Now, reports are saying that most of the new applications for F1 have been denied, except for Andretti Global with Cadillac, which is a good possible sign that Andretti might be getting through that final hurdle until the EU law forces them away in. But we don't know who's going to be the 2 drivers. My feeling is Logan, if he gets booted from Williams either this year or next year, he may not be out of a job for long, because I could very well see Sargent being either the second driver or the reserve driver for Andretti F1. But I'll talk more about that once we get there, but I don't think Andretti's going to go for Checo. We don't know what's going to happen, but I do possibly think Sargent has a shot at going to Andretti either as their second driver and a reserve because, let's be real, Michael Andretti wants Colton Herta in one of those F1 cars as soon as possible. And we don't know how many super license points Kyle Kirkwood has. So Logan is going to be a solid stopgap for Andretti until Kirkwood gets enough. Or I could see Logan going to number 5. One of the Haas drivers will retire in 2024. Okay, we got to talk about the MoneyGram Haas team. Or will it be the MoneyGram Alfa Romeo Haas F1 team? I don't know. But honestly, this is one of the oldest driver lineups in F1 today, to be completely honest. Part of me is thinking Magnussen may call it quits after next year, which could give a clear opening for Logan to come in because this team wants to run on the cheap side of things. And let's be real, who saw Nico outperforming Magnussen coming? I sure as hell didn't. In fact, he was so close to getting a podium in Melbourne. But of course, that ended up going to Max. Because of course it did. Hopefully, Nico is definitely going to be a big part of this Haas team for years to come. Because some part of me is thinking Magnussen might call it quits. But now we get to some good news. Number 6, Lando Norris re-signs with McLaren. As we saw today, McLaren is on an absolute roll right now. Lando is getting so close to getting his first ever win, and Oscar Piastri scoring his first podium today in Japan. But part of me, I know a lot of the rumors are saying he may end up going to Audi to be reunited with Andreas Seidel, but part of me is thinking maybe he may stick around a little longer. So I'm just wondering how Lando's going to make that decision going forward. Because, of course, there was some rumors that might have died off that Lando could join Red Bull, but with Lawson coming in, at this point, expect the unexpected here. And speaking of surprises, back to Williams for number 7. Alex Albon leaves Williams. Now, do I believe I do think Alex Albon's a solid driver. I really do. Getting unfairly booted from Red Bull, getting a reserve driver, having to drive in the DTS series. But part of me is thinking Alex is just too good for this Williams team. Yet then again, this team was built around him. And of course, there was that rumor that Albon was linked to Ferrari of all places, which I don't know about that, but I do think, if I have to guess, is that he goes to Ferrari to replace the smooth operator, which is possible, or he'd be a solid possible replacement for Lando should he leave McLaren. But as for Williams, should Albon leave, they do have a solid academy, which I will give James Vowles credit for that. They rebuilt their academy nicely. But so far, most of their academy drivers are in F3 at the moment. So they could get a reserve driver, which right now they either have Mick, or they could bring Logan Sargent back temporarily for a nice bit of North American, South American flair for this team. Something I don't think has happened in Williams for many years, actually. I don't think. Number 8, Théo Pourchaire wins the F2 championship. Now, right now, this is way too close to call. I'm really excited to see how this ends here. Because apparently, whatever happens with Alfa Romeo, well, soon to be Sauber, until the Audi deal, it's going to be interesting to see see what happens here because Valtteri's back for another year. Zhou just got re-upped, and Zhou has Pourchaire. Because it's going to come down to either Pourchaire or Frederick Festi, which, oh, by the way, that also adds more to a wrinkle into the Mercedes Academy driver, because we know Kimi Antonelli might be coming ready sooner rather than later, so yeah, I do think if Pourchaire doesn't do it this year, I got a gut feeling next year will be Pourchaire's year. And I think that's all I have. I don't remember the other three at the moment, so I'll just leave it like there. Thanks for watching, y'all. Subscribe.